Hi, this week we are going to focus on some writing skills. Over the last couple of weeks, you've had some assignments so I could kind of assess where you were at with certain skills. And so this week I'm giving you specific feedback and ways to get better, but to practice those skills again so that you can show improvement. And the three specific things we are going to be focusing on is summarizing, using claim, evidence, and reasoning, and really focusing on evidence as some direct quotes. So if you look at this Newsella article, it has the answers, and I will have this linked in for you to look at so you can go back and see your work compared to my work and also look at the feedback that I will give you. And this was from April 20th about the goats roaming the streets in Wales. As I looked at this, I focused on the main skill. The first one was summarize this article in 3 to 5 sentences. We need to remember that a summary includes the who, what, when, where, and why of what's going on in the article. Really getting it into 3 sentences would be plenty. So if you notice now, I went through and I wrote out the answers, and you can click on each one and I'll show you, well, this is the why. You can see the who, where, what, and when. So when I read your summaries, I'm looking for those 5 specific things. Did you get the main idea when you summarize the article? In your assignments this week, you will have more practice in summarizing articles that you're reading. And this will be a good guide to help you understand what you are trying to do and to show me that you are proficient at that skill. The second question on this assignment was an opinion question, and it was the relationship between humans and the environment in this specific situation. This you needed to use claim, evidence, and reasoning. So the first sentence should be taking the idea, your main idea, and restating it with the context of the words. So I said, in this situation, the relationship between the goats and the people seems to be one of reversal. And then I go into talking about what that means. This right here, though, is your topic sentence that relates back. I should clearly see that, and that's also my claim is in the first sentence. And then I go on to explain what that means. And then I do some evidence. So you can see here, it says in this scenario, this is my first idea that I bring up as to why this was a reversal. And then I talk about how someone commented, and you can see here, this is a direct quote from the article. I would like you to be using direct evidence in the form of quotes, and I should see it quoted. Remember, quotes shouldn't be too long though, and they shouldn't be too short. They should be just right, just like Goldilocks. I call it the Goldilocks rule. I'm sure a lot of other teachers do as well. Then I go on to the next one. Furthermore, this article shows a connectedness. So I talk more about the article and why. And it even says right here, another quote. They probably realized something unusual was going on because there were so few people around. So in this short 5 to 8 sentences, I use 2 quotes from the article. The other thing you can see is really using the idea of the main ideas in it, and also I try to use the evidence from the article to support my thinking. That is what I'm looking for when it comes to any kind of opinion that you have. You should have evidence to support your thinking. Okay? And it is 7 sentences. That's the other thing I wrote because a lot of people are answering this in 2 or 1 sentence. If it says 5 to 8 sentences, I would like you to push for that so you can work on expanding your writing and your ideas and your thinking. Okay? All right, the last one was in response to a quote. The article mentions, and then it says, what do you think about this? When I ask multiple questions, those are to kind of guide you as to what should be going on in your response. Again, this says 5 to 8 sentences. So I started with a topic sentence. It's clearly stated. Overall, I agree with the statement and I am thankful for the quote, lighthearted, unquote material that's being shared. First, I give my first main reason with a transition that helps the reader to see the main ideas. Being on lockdown is not easy. People are using the access to technology and social media to help people stay entertained. That's how technology is influencing societies. So I made sure to answer that. And then I even added a personal bit in here about, for me, some reasoning. Then I went into next. That's my reason number 2. Again, this transition word helps the reader to see the main idea. And I talk about my next reason, and then I use a specific quote from the article to support my thinking, so I have evidence. And then lastly, I have reason number 3. It helps the reader again see the main idea. And I gave another example of what I saw. Now, this isn't direct evidence, this is indirect evidence, but I'm still referencing something that I have seen that other people have also probably noticed on the internet. And then lastly, I say like why this is important, and then I sum it up, restating my opinion and leaving the reader thinking in the concluding sentence. So even though these are short answers that you are writing, it's showing me your skills and how you are summarizing, how you are adding claim, evidence, and reasoning to your writing. So please be aware of this as you're going through the assignments for this week, so that we can make some improvements. And please, please make sure to read the feedback I have given you. I'd appreciate it. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me.